أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام، الحمد لله على نعمة الإيمان، الحمد لله على نعمة القرآن، الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق، صلوا على رسولنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ونبينا محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. The theory of probability of narrations. Today I shall try to explain it, inshallah. And the first presentation which I shall try to explain is the reliability coefficient of narrator. It is the most important part of the theory. Let's begin with the definition of narration. The definition of narration. Narration is the transition of information between the source and interlocutor. The narration is the transition of information between the source and interlocutor, or in other words, transferring the knowledge from one side to the other. Here is the source side at the left, and here is the narrator. He relates the events or anything out of the source side. He receives it and he gives it, he brings it to the interlocutor side. This is the action of the narrator. And here now narration types. There is in this theory two types of narration. One of them accurate transmission, and another one is inaccurate transmission. The first one, accurate narration, it is the case if a transmitter relates in an accordance with matters of fact. This definition is important. Let's read it again. It's the case if a transmitter narrates the event in accordance with matters of fact, in accordance with what occurred. So this is the accurate narration. And now, inaccurate narration. It is the case if a transmitter relates an event that he has witnessed in a manner that either partly or wholly deviates from what occurred. He relates the event in a manner that either partly or wholly deviates from what occurred. He changed the event. He changed what he has witnessed, either partly or wholly. Or relates an event that he has not witnessed as if he has witnessed. If he relates the event claiming that he has witnessed it, no need that he change it or not. He may change it or not. It's already inaccurate narration. And the definition of inaccurate narration is more important than the definition of accurate narration. The definition of accurate narration was simple. It is the case if a transmitter relates in an accordance with matters of fact. He relates the event in accordance what occurred. But in inaccurate narration, he transmits the event he has witnessed, either partly or wholly deviates, he changes the event. And if he relates an event he has not witnessed it, then he is also wrong. It means that his action is inaccurate. This is not accurate narration. Even if he relates the event, the report, as if he heard, without changing, it's not accurate narration. It's inaccurate narration. If he heard the event from somebody else and present the knowledge to us as if he has witnessed, no need to change. If he relates as if he heard, it's already inaccurate narration. So the knowledge, what he came to us may be true, but his action still inaccurate. So the definition of inaccurate narration is important, because we will come to see the results of this, the consequences of this definition in the theory. So let's look at these probabilities. Here is the narration, and at the first hand it divides into two. The first one is accurate narration, and as if I said, it is simple. So when we assume that the person relates the event in accurate way, it means that the report which he came to us is true, and this is the consequence of the definition, because he relates the event in accordance with what occurred. So the result is true. The result means the knowledge he brought to us is true, and this is 1 second. The percentage here is 1 second. This is the first one, the accurate narration. And he may do inaccurate narration. This is the second probability, and it has the 1 second percentage of the probability too. But here the inaccurate narration divides into two. The first one, if the person narrates the event which he has witnessed, and I named it F1, and this one has the 1/4 percentage of the probability, and the result is false, because he witnessed the event, but he is changing the event when he is narrating, either partly or wholly. This is F1. And F2, unwitnessed. The inaccurate narration divides into two. The first one, if he witnessed, if the person who is doing this inaccurate narration, he's witnessed the event, then this is the first one. And here he is changing why his narration is inaccurate, because he is changing the narration. And this one is unwitnessed. If he unwitnessed, then it means he heard the event from somebody else, and it has 1/4 percentage of probability, and I named it F2. F2 also divides into two alternatives. The first one has the 1/8 of the probability. Here he has heard the report from somebody else. He didn't witness, but he is here changing what he heard, changing the report. Even he has not witnessed, he is already inaccurate narration, but in this option he is changing what he heard. So the result is already false. The result false, because he is changing what he heard. If what he heard was true, he is changing it. So the knowledge he is coming to us is here also false. This, I named it F2A. And F2B, it has the 1/8 percentage. Here he is unwitnessed to hearing something from somebody else. Now it divides into two. In this option, here we're assuming that the report was false, what he heard. Here in this option, he hears a false report, a wrong report, and either he is changing it or he is not changing it. The knowledge he is coming to us is false. And in this option, let's assume that he has heard a true knowledge, he has heard a sound report, and in this option he's changing it. It's 1/16 of the probability. He's changing it, so the result is false. And only in this option, it's also 1/16 percentage of the probability. Let's assume here he relates what he heard, and here in this option he heard a sound report, so in this option only he may come to us with true knowledge. So inaccurate narration doesn't mean always inaccurate information, doesn't mean false information always. There is a small probability in inaccurate option may come with true knowledge. But in this theory, I will neglect this probability, and I will assume that if somebody do an accurate narration, it will show us that he comes to us with true knowledge. And if he does an inaccurate narration, I will assume, by neglecting this option, I will assume that the knowledge he is coming to us is wrong, is false. And as you see, this is a small percentage, and it can be denied. And let us read again these options. F1, a transmitter reports an event he witnesses with either partial or complete distortion. If F1 is true of a transmitter, the report he transmits is considered inaccurate. This one. F2, a transmitter transmits a report of an event that he has witnessed as if he has, that he has not witnessed as if he has. The kind of transmission is divided into two. Here it's divided into two. One of them is F2A. A transmitter transmits an inaccurate report of an event as if he has witnessed the event, although he has not witnessed it. If F2A is true of a transmitter, then the report he transmits is considered inaccurate. Here. And now F2B. A transmitter transmits an